What's up, everybody? I'm Bree.
And I'm Evan.
And this is Reality Check TV.
We love y'all.
Here's where we discuss some of our favorite reality shows to watch together as a couple. So if you love reality TV like we do, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you can get notified anytime we post a new review.
I'm just so proud of you.
Okay, so we are back. And I have to say, this weekend has been amazing, guys. You guys have showed up. Like, we don't even know what to do with ourselves right now. Like,
definitely appreciate y'all. Y'all definitely surprised us. Like,
yes,
definitely appreciate it. Like, you guys are really letting us know where we are with things and really let us know kind of what we can work on better and what we're doing right.
Yes.
And it's truly appreciated. Like, this has always been fun to us, and I hope it's fun to y'all watching.
Yes, and we are newbies to the YouTube world, and so we hear you guys, we hear the critique, we accept that too. Like, listen, it don't bother us. Like, please, we love the positivity, the love in general, and we just want to say welcome to the fam, because we all family here, okay? So I see all of these brand new subscribers and brand new energy that you are bringing to the Reality Check TV tribe. And I love to see it. We love to see it. But yes, we love that you love us. However, I think what really put a smile on my face is to see you guys interacting in the comments with each other. Like I said, we're trying to create a community here of like-minded individuals. So I want you guys to get to know each other as well. And so I love to see it. Shout out to all of you guys. Like, please. And do not be shy. If you have questions for us, you want to talk to us, we talk back. Like, if we missed any of y'all's comments, by the way, please forgive us. We was trying to keep up. Then also people hitting us in DMs and other social media platforms. So just, give us a little bit of time to catch up. But just, we love you guys and we're so grateful.
But yeah, y'all continue to hit the comments. Definitely appreciate it. Love to see their reaction.
Yes. Now, here is the double-edged sword, though. So we love that you love us. But y'all also spoken, and it kind of seemed like y'all want us to continue to review this show. That's what it seemed. The people have spoken. Y'all still want us to review this show. Y'all know last week I was not feeling it. I really was like, I had a whole attitude last week. If I'm being honest with you guys, like I was just like not in a positive headspace. I don't know if it was the air last week, because y'all know the apocalypse was coming, but I don't know. I'm feeling brighter and more energized this week. And y'all gave us y'all's opinion. And it seems like y'all want to hear our opinions on this raggedy show. So we going to give the people what they want. You ready?
Brace yourselves.
Let's get into it. Okay, guys, so this episode picks up with Tiffany seeing stars, okay? She's seeing stars, she's crying, she's, like, almost hyperventilating, like, it's a lot, right? And it was even making me feel, as a viewer, okay, y'all, what's going on with Tiffany? We need to get her to the hospital, right? She's refusing everybody's opinion or I guess suggestion of maybe we should call 911. And the main person that was saying this was Kimmy. She's like, I don't understand why we're not calling 911. I don't understand how you have a choice in this right now. And she really didn't, because Big Lou picked her ass up, put her right in that damn car, and sped off to the emergency room. It was very clear to me from last episode and this episode, in my opinion, I was like, I'm getting something's going on with her blood pressure, one. And Kimmy picked up on that, and of course she did, because she's a nurse. But she said she didn't have her like blood pressure check.
Blood pressure monitor.
Yeah, she didn't have that in her car, and she usually carries that in her car. But I said it's definitely blood pressure, or it could be she's dehydrated, or a combination of both, right? As somebody that goes hours, if not the whole day, without eating or drinking, I have to stay up on that, and it's something that I'm hard on myself on about it. Like if I realize I look up and it's 6 o'clock in the evening and I haven't eaten anything all day, but with her being pregnant, that definitely needs to be priority to me.
Well, the baby shower is just a little too much going on for her. Like I said, she's pregnant. She got Lou outside talking to two clowns and speaking in clown language, so she didn't know what was going on with that.
Right.
Like I said, she seemed like she's too busy to eat or drink. I don't know if it's just work or her little projects. I don't know what Tiffany has going on, but she's pregnant. Sit your ass down. Don't worry about Lou outside. The two clowns ain't plucking a feather. So I don't know, but I'm glad she got in the car and they were rushed to the hospital. So the next thing we have is Marsau and Maurice showing up at one of their new project grounds. They come up tailored down for their portrait of their new project. As you guys see, I know you guys see in movies, the news, or even newspapers. Anytime there's like a new construction site, something new being built, they always get a little picture of everybody lined up, sometimes wearing the little hard hats, sometimes got the shovels under them as if they're about to dig something. But yeah, they did a little family photo about breaking ground. Nice little thing to see. It'll probably be finished in about 20 years because they take forever to do anything, especially with Marsau, the head of the snake. What do you think of that little family portrait?
I don't care. But what I will say is this, just to be a little bit more clear, this isn't a they project. This is Marceau and Gino. And what is it? Scope. Um, Maurice shows up to the site and he's in a suit, but he has nothing to do with the company or this particular project. And it's important to mention that because when talking about them doing a group photo, the Scots do a lot of this. I feel like it's a lot of boasting, it's a lot of talking about different things, and don't really see, you really don't have an understanding of who does what and what's going on, and the purpose behind certain things. So Maurice just showed up for a picture. Marceau and Maurice are talking before Latisha shows up, and he asks Marceau like, "Oh, so you have all of these projects going on, and plus like Latisha's little office or extended wing, how's that coming along?" And Marceau says how, oh, like basically it's in Latisha's court. She need to send him the plans, and like of course, as always, she's behind. Like just again, just throwing his wife under the bus. This is, a regular Wednesday. Um, and here comes Latisha, like, coming down the little mud hill in her little heels and her little dress, and she's just so oblivious. And she's like, "Hi, babe." Like it's just, they're annoying. I find them very annoying. And of course, as soon as she pops up, Marcel changes his whole energy and was like, "Oh yeah, I was just telling Maurice how I'm working hard on your project, and I'm like holding it up and it's not you," like, being sarcastic. He just, every second, I just find it to be hilarious how he finds any moment to just make fun of his wife. It's just
his assistant.
It's just so ridiculous. Like I don't know. She's just so dumb. I don't even know what else to say. Like he just constantly makes a fool out of you, and you just lean into it. I think you think that you guys have like a fun banter back and forth, but no.
It's pretty one-sided.
Yeah, like you're always the butt of his jokes, and that's very sad. Very sad. Very sad. So they take their little picture, and like Evan said, we'll see what this will be.
20 years, folks. 20 years time.
So after this lame group takes their photo, Maurice and Martel, not Martel, Maurice and Marsau and Tisha have a conversation about this Black Expo situation, right? And Maurice in this moment is like leaning into the conversation. Marsau and Latisha both make it very clear that they are not planning to pay anybody, that they're just trying to give back to the community. We'll get to that later, guys. But I found it interesting because Marsau brings up the question of like, why did the comeback group never work? It was always something that was stopping them from doing what they set out to do. And it was Maurice that brought up how people's egos got in the way and money and got involved, and that's where things kind of get shady and all of this other stuff. And the three of them are talking. What I feel, I would receive it as they're talking about the other three individuals that's not there. That's how I would receive it, right? So if the three of you guys are having this conversation about how people's egos got involved, and once you add money to a situation, it just gets crazy and all of this other stuff. I'm just going to assume you're talking about the people that's not there, which would be Kimmy, who is your wife, Martel, and Mel. I'm just gonna receive it that way. And I find it funny because as dumb as Martel is, he had his secret weapon at the time, which was Mel, that kept him alert on how to handle business. And I feel like, and I stand by it, I don't care what nobody says, Kimmy and Mel, when it comes to business, I just feel like I don't worry about them. Specifically Mel, because we can see the multiple business ventures that she's a part of right now, that are successful. They're doing very well. She's doing very well in her professional career. So I feel like those two ladies are the ones that was kind of driving the ship, when it comes down to the actual business dealings of anything that was attached to the comeback group. And the Scots being the Scots, having two women really asking the right questions and leading something, makes them uncomfortable. So they just, decide to just lean on, oh, it's egos. I found that part to just be very interesting. And once again, Maurice is going to show his cards later on in the episode, at the end of the episode, when we actually have this pointless meeting.
Well, the comeback group ain't worried because everybody messy. And my thing is, you expect people love to say, "Oh, you need to separate business from personal," but that's not always true. It's like y'all supposed to be a group. Y'all supposedly doing stuff for the community and supposedly trying to uplift one another. But you got, for example, all these seasons, all these times Latisha talk about somebody back, all these times Marsau being messy, my fault, Marisha being messy, Martel, boy, boy, boy. Well, I don't know which chapter to start on, but story, that's gonna take a week to talk about. Um, Maurice, Maurice is just a clown. So I don't know how much more elaboration I need about that one, but it's it's no such thing as separating that. Y'all are all supposed to be friends, supposedly, but some of that's out the window. How some people have been treated, especially if they've done Mel. I mean, my thing is, y'all already know Mel does not want to be around y'all, but y'all want to keep trying to have these little meetings, inviting her, hoping to change her mind when she literally has the devil in the meeting with her. She has Latisha, who's just there to spy and try to take shots. She got Marsau making googly eyes, looking cross-eyed while he do it. It's failed for so many reasons, and I don't know why every season it keeps getting brought back up. The comeback group.
So Mel meets with her attorney Caleb to discuss her name changing situation. Mel wants to go back to her maiden name, which is Rogers. Didn't know this, finding
Uh-oh.
out something new. So they're talking about that, and she finds out that in the US, you cannot change your name, your last name, if you are currently associated with another court case within the country.
Mm-hmm.
Which learn something new every day. Of course, I had no idea. This was completely new information to me. It was completely new information for her. So she's like, well, damn, like he tried to control me in the marriage, and now he's trying to control me getting out of the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like another hurdle with Martel. It just has to be super annoying. Um, they also just talk about how Martel's lawyers asked that Mel present her phone records, her social media passwords.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just ridiculous. Of course, the judge probably threw all of that out. Are you kidding me? Like, please.
Right.
That doesn't even make any sense. I like for his lawyer to even ask is fascinating to me. I don't know much about divorces, guys, so I feel like I'm always finding out something new, whether it's someone in my personal life that's going through it or something on TV, but I've never heard of this. Like, I
Mm-mm.
have no idea what your social media accounts have to do with anything or even your phone records, to be quite honest. Like Mel said that she can kind of understand why you have to present your bank statements to kind of see if that you are financially stable to take care of the children. But even that, like, I find that to be extremely invasive as well.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she also threw in there that he wanted to know all of the names or the people that she has been romantically involved with since the divorce, which I'm just like
Well, it's one of those things where Martel's lawyer is pretty much is there to serve him. So, due to Martel really cannot get in contact with Mel via anything, I'm not surprised that he's trying to fetch as much information as possible. Maybe he thought that if she had his lawyer coming at her with these questions instead of him, that she'd be like, "Oh, since this is like a legal issue, I really got to get my information up." No, it's another tactic. Um, I don't know. It's just crazy from these shows. You just really see, and I don't know too much about the divorce process from a legal aspect, but it just seems so dreadful, and it just seems so like I see why it gets so ugly.
Yeah, I understand why it gets ugly too. Like this has just been a mess. And I will say this is yet again an example of how open Mel has been on this show, because she really has allowed us in um every step of the way when it comes to this divorce, like from a legal aspect. And has been really open about it, because of course she's not the first divorced woman
Mm.
we've seen on reality TV, or a woman that's actually going through a divorce in the middle of filming their show. But I feel like she's been the most open. So I'm learning a lot. I feel like a lot of people are learning a lot that isn't too familiar with this process, and I too understand completely why it can get ugly, especially when you're dealing with an individual like Martel that is very spiteful. And it's clear that he is. I mean, she even brought up to Caleb, or Caleb asked Mel, like, I know he was showing up and calling. It seems like either there had to be some type of restraining order or some type of restriction that had to be put in place for him to stop doing that. And she did say that has, calmed down a lot. But it shouldn't even have to be that way.
Mm-mm.
It's just a mess. Like I all I can say is your kids are going to see this one day. It's nasty to me.
Did you see all this coming when it came to what Martel, his tricks and trades he's gonna try to pull?
Absolutely. I mean, Martel is, like I said, when it comes to him being spiteful, he is mad at the end of the day that Mel left him. Like, she was just supposed to be a good little wife and get cheated on. Like, She wasn't supposed to do all of this other stuff. And then how dare she leave me and then be successful? Like, what the hell? Like, how dare you?
You should fail.
Right. Like, he has been trying to get back at this woman since
well, you know,
the beginning.
I think the downfall of their marriage, despite he couldn't keep it in his pants, is I think the envy started building up, the jealousy of the partner.
Yeah.
The fact of, and don't quote me, folks, I forgot what the licensure is called, but the fact that she has the certifications and all this other stuff in a field that they're both in, and Martel can't pass the test, things like that with him, and then seeing Mel, like I said, when they go to speaking engagements, she's the one speaking. They're both invited, but they want Mel to speak.
Yeah.
I felt it was built up envy and jealousy of the partner to the point where, when it came to hurting her, he felt like I'm gonna bring her some notches down and hurt her.
Right.
We have Martel meeting with a famous suit designer from Atlanta named Miguel Wilson. As y'all know, Martel. Okay, we're just gonna call it thing. Yes, Martel seems to be a miserable human being 24/7. Yes, his suits be tight, but y'all can't lie. Some of them suits be fire now. Some of the colors, some of the patterns, them suits be fire now.
I will say that this is the business venture that makes sense. Mm-hmm. This made sense. The wine made no sense. That's why it ain't going nowhere. Like, he don't even drink, so that didn't even make any sense. And how he even promotes it and talks about it, you can tell that he's not a drinker and he knows nothing about his product. So him having a suit line, to me, was right on brand. If he's trying to create a brand, and y'all know how I feel about Martel Hope, but this made sense. So it shows me, because Martel can't come up with business ideas on his own, that clearly somebody that he knows was able to make this connection between him and Mr. Wilson.
And I believe too, they were very specific about the suit, and I feel it's because of Marcel's build and the type of suits he wears. I believe it was called a double-breasted suit that Martel would specialize in. I really do feel like, outside the magazine cover, like, I really do feel like this is something that he would actually be fit for. More than real estate. All that, the real estate, the construction, it seems like this is his avenue.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know what, Martel, just give up on the builder's license. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. Let it go. Okay, so then we shoot over to Tiffany laying in bed, working. Big Lou comes in, gives her some water, and was like, "Listen, girl, is you rested?" And she's like, "I'm just finishing up some work." And come to find out, we was all right. She said that she had not been drinking enough water. Doctor said that she needs to also get some rest. She has not been resting. She also mentioned something about she has like a complete opposite issue, like most pregnant women, where she has really low blood pressure, and I guess that can cause an issue as well. So that's just what it was. I think we kind of all assumed that, again, she was overexhausting herself. We could not have assumed that she's not getting enough fluids, but we all know that she do too much. And Tiffany, listen, we're not even gonna make this long. Tiffany, girl, y'all, one thing I really don't like, y'all, let me know if y'all feel the same way, but I do not like when adults have the hard-headed trait. I feel like you too old to be hard-headed. I feel like that's a childish trait. Is it just like, for me, I just feel like if you're hard-headed, that's like a kid thing. Like, if I'm telling you constantly, "Girl, you need to rest, you're pregnant," be obvious, right? It's like you still want, "No, I have to go, I have to be on the go." Like, girl, sit down, sit your ass down. Like, Tiffany, you annoying everybody. This is too much. I also have to ask Tiff, like, and I mean this in the most respectful way, I truly want to know, why did you want to have another child? Maybe she's mentioned this before and I just don't remember, because I really never paid attention to Tiffany's scenes, to be quite honest with y'all. But I really want to know why she wanted to have another kid, because the couple of scenes that we've had of Tiffany and Lou, when it comes about when they're having conversations about this baby, it seems like she really thinks that she's going to have this child and go straight back to work, and the child's just going to be able to fit into their life, whatever they have going on now. I mean, she flat out said that like a few episodes ago, and I felt like that was really childish because she already has a child, who's a teenager now, and so you would think, as a mother, you would already know that that's not how any of this works, especially when you are having a more complicated pregnancy, because I know that there were a couple of issues with her even getting pregnant, and so there was just a few things that brought up some concerns health wise. So it was a little bit of a risk from what she was saying. I don't know this, but from what she was saying in previous seasons, it was risky. It could be risky. So you would think that she would go above and beyond to take care of herself, make sure she is healthy and well rested, and the baby's getting what they need, while she's pregnant. And it seems like she's doing the complete opposite. Um, she seems very disengaged. And it's clear that she's also a workaholic. They had the same issue when they went to that couples retreat a couple of seasons ago, where she was not engaged. Her mind and her attention was everywhere but with her husband in that moment. And when we found out that she was pregnant, I was like kind of sort of shocked. Like, I know she mentioned she wanted to have another baby, but I'm like, you want to have another baby for what? For what reason? I just want to know what her real reasonings are, because it doesn't. Because I can't tell. It doesn't make sense. Your husband shouldn't have to be over you crying, begging you to take a break, because mind you, in this conversation that they're having in the room, she's saying that she's also preparing to go on another business trip, just one more. And I'm like, but girl, you was just rushed to the hospital days before, because you're not resting, and you're gonna still go.
But workaholics, they really do take this stuff to the extreme. Like, to your first comment talking about, adults being hard headed and childish. As we've come, and even you can see from the show, I don't think there's any more such thing as childish. We got adults doing the same things 12, 11, 10-year-olds do.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I don't know. It's just really weird to me. Like, I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, what, you wanted to have another baby because
now I understand they both. Tiffany had a child before Lou in a previous marriage. Didn't Lou have a child?
Yeah, he has a child too.
So, do they have a child between themselves?
No, and so
that's what it is.
Okay, all right.
That's what it is. I think they at least wanted one child between them. This is it, and I feel like Tiffany either, and like I said, we don't know how she helped mothered her previous child, how that went. Tiffany may feel, oh, I've had a child before, so I'm experienced. I'm a veteran now. This is gonna be a walk in the park.
I don't know why she would think that, because I feel like most women will know that every pregnancy is different. Every child is different, and I have no kids, so I don't even understand, and I recognize this. So that's why I'm just kind of like.
And not just that, like you said, she's over here doing all this work stuff. It's like, I don't know. We don't know what Tiffany does with her time, but it seems like she's too busy to even take a sip of water. How dehydrated she's been, and not doing the things that she needs to do. And the thing is, Tiffany right now is thinking about Tiffany by putting herself in those positions. When you have a full child in your stomach, you should be thinking about your child before work. I mean, because let's be real, these jobs don't care about us.
So they talk about Marsau and Martel talking to Lou outside of the baby shower, and how Marsau be in the mix all the time. Lou was like he Betty Crocker always in the mix. That was a little corny, but okay, go ahead, whatever. And here go Tiffany. Tiffany's like, well, I'm also realizing that maybe I should be mindful of when I say certain things, like my timing and my delivery. And I was like, no, girl, I'll just give it to you straight. You just need to mind your business. Just mind your business. Minding your business is always an option for all of us. Listen. When you mind your business, blessings come. Mind your business and drink your water. That's what keeps the skin clear. I mind my business.
And I believe too in that party, I do not believe. Was Tiffany the only one that really talked to Sherane?
Yeah, she was.
Like nobody else paid Sherane no mind?
She was. Now, granted, thank you, Tiffany, because, without that scene, we have nothing to talk about. We know that. We recognize that. And just because we said that, guys, that doesn't mean that Tiffany was right. I never said that. I didn't say she was right. I never said that. But the point is, Tiffany has a long track record of being in people's business. And she doesn't understand boundaries. She don't know how to read a room. Her timing is always off-putting. And it rubs people the wrong way. And I am happy that her husband in this moment decided to bring that up. Like, yeah, like you need to be mindful of that because these people don't know you like that. So you're coming off a different way to them. And not just the people that we're on the show with. This is in general. And Tiffany she keeps leaning in on this whole lie of, I really love blended families. I was doing this with the blended family. Girl, that's not why. That's not why. The reason is, it's because you nosy. You in people's business. And you messy. Like, call a thing a thing. Just say I'm messy. Just say I'm messy. We're here for the mess. That's fine. Gives us something to talk about. But what I will say, and Big Lou alluded to this when he was talking to her, like, you're going to have to stop getting me into mess. And I'm with him on that. This is one thing I didn't mention in our last review. Despite he was dealing with Martel and Marsau, those two punks, besides that, reality is when you are a unit, when you are a couple, I'm not gonna go out of my way to put myself in certain situations that's ultimately gonna put Evan in a situation. Like I'm not gonna do that, right? Like at the end of the day, people are really crazy nowadays, so I go out of my way to not put myself in mess. Like that's not, first of all, that's not how I rock in general. Whether I was in a relationship or not, I personally don't do mess. I don't do mess in my personal life. That's not how I get down. But you have to be mindful of that. Like what you do and say and how you show up in the world and around other people, it can affect the people in your personal life. And so you putting Lou in situations because you're running your mouth and because you don't know how to mind your business, that's not cool either. And yeah, okay, guys. So y'all know we got to talk about the Black Expo. We got to talk about the Black Expo. Unfortunately. So Kimmy and Mel are the first ones to this meeting, right? This pointless, idiotic meeting. And they're talking, they're catching up. And Kimmy got her papers this time, right? She's prepared. She's about to get y'all together. This is the Kimmy that I love. I love when this Kimmy shows up, when she got the receipts, okay? So she pulls out this long letter that was from Marsau, apparently years ago, that Marsau sent to the entire group on all of the reasons why he should be the president of the comeback group. So
fake news.
Like, okay, all right. So he did that. And so she's talking about how she's coming to this meeting to get some clarity because they have not heard from the Scotts since that last meeting, which is amazing to me. It's amazing to me, but I'm gonna get to that. So she has her questions. She's trying to understand the purpose of this event, like we all are, the naming of this event, and why is it not being under the comeback group? Because we find out that the comeback group is technically still a thing. And I'm not talking about them meeting up, none of that. I'm talking about on paper, this comeback group is still a business that was never dissolved. So Kimmy says how they have still been paying taxes on it. And I found this to be really fascinating. I hope all of my business cousins in the comments, I need y'all's input on this. When you guys are having a business, when somebody has a business with multiple people, is everybody responsible for paying the taxes? Because I feel like Mel would have brought this up a long time ago.
Right.
I feel like Martel would have brought this up a long time ago.
Right.
So who's still paying taxes on this? Is it just Kimmy? Because now we have a problem. Kimmy, you've been paying taxes on this by yourself?
I think if anybody, the Scots as a whole, all four of them. If anybody, I think it'd be all four of the Scots.
I don't understand. So Mel is basically like, well, Kimmy, I mean, you really can't. We can't be too surprised because everybody wanted. They really was trying to shy away from the comeback group, and Kimmy was like, no. Technically, it was only you, which is true. Years ago, it was only Mel that was like, listen, I want nothing to do with this group anymore. I want this business to be dissolved, and I want us to just all move forward. That's it. She's the one that wanted nothing to do with it. But everybody else never, they wanted to still do the comeback group. They still wanted it to be a thing. They never agreed on dissolving the business. And so that's a very important factor. So just a little small side piece. Kimmy asked Mel about her new boo that is possibly in her life. She brought up the post that I'm pretty sure we all saw that Mel posted on Valentine's Day, because I definitely saw it, where she clearly was with another person on vacation. It was obvious, right? So Kimmy brings it up. Mel is ducking and dodging all questions. Like she like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What you talking about? Love life. I got love life. What you mean? Huh? Kimmy, I think you should go to Belize. Like I think you should take a vacation. What you want for dinner? Like she's constantly like just dodging, right? Here's my thing. Y'all know I love Mel. Mel, you know I love you. I will say though, I get it. On one hand, I completely understand you not wanting to discuss your dating life, right? Your love life, specifically with this group, right? Like, I completely get that. Don't share nothing else with them. I get it. And even though we love Kimmy, she is still connected to a Scott. So at that point, you connected to the ops. In my mind, that's just how it will work. So I get it. I really do. And I also understand you have kids and you want to be able to take things slow, and like you don't want your dating life to be the main focal point for people. Like she said, she has other businesses, she has other things going on in her life. But on the other hand, this is called Love and Marriage Huntsville. Love and Marriage. So this is, y'all, remember, I mean, y'all know I still want the show to be canceled. I still want the show to be canceled. And again, this is just speaking to the reason why, because you can't continue to be on this show and just do the bare minimum with this group of people. You just can't. You can't continue to be on this show and you not give us any more of your personal life beyond just us seeing you putting together packages or you having conversations with your lawyers or with other people about Martel, right? And the difficulties that's going on with this custody. I get it. Like, but we also want to see some positive sides too. And so, I mean, we haven't really seen Mel interact much with like friends, like her actual homegirls. And I remember seeing an interview with Mel months ago, and she talked about how, her real life friends, they're not interested in on be, they don't want to be on the show. And I get that. I get that too. Mm-hmm. So something like who you're dating and you going out on dates and you being single, Mel, like those are kind of the things that the audience would like to see. But I also don't want to see it in this setting, because in this setting is your ex-husband, who, I get it, he is a nightmare. And it's also a bunch of people that I feel like are constantly rooting against you. So I get it. And this is just yet another reason why, Mel, it's really, really, really time for you to get off of this show. And I know you're the producer, but it's really time. Like, you're not able to flourish and shine the way I feel like you used to be able to do. And all that's going to happen is that the audience is going to continue to get annoyed. We're going to continue to get bored, because it's then going to be packaged as if you're not giving us anything. So that's just, this sucks. This sucks. So this is when things take a turn, as always. We have Marsau and Martel walking together, as always. As always.
Eminem.
They're coming in, and Martel makes his way across the table, and he's like, "Hey, Mel," and he reaches out his hand. He's trying to shake her hand, and Mel's like, "What's up, Martel? What's up?" Like, what?
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm gonna tell you like this. I promise y'all. After that meeting, Martel texted his lawyer and said she didn't shake my hand. I was trying to be cordial in public. That's it. See, add down the documentation. I'm trying to be cordial for the kids. She ain't shake my hand.
Martel then says in his confessional, he's like, I think it was really wrong for her to not shake my hand. Like, I think that it's important to show that we can coexist in the same space and be cordial, and like we're just off to a bad start. I'm like, dude, first of all, y'all can coexist. She's there. I can give you bare minimum. She didn't have to say hi. Bare minimum. That's all she has to do. She's not obligated to shake your hand. She's not obligated to touch you.
How dare you not shake King Martel?
Because I definitely would have gave him the nod. Next. What are we talking about? What's on the agenda? That's what we're here for. So when everybody gets into the room, and I think it was Maurice that brought it up. No. It was Latisha. Latisha was like, well, I haven't heard from anybody. Like, nobody got back to me, like, to basically confirm or deny if they wanted to be a part of the event. And Kimmy says, well, weren't you supposed to send out, like, a follow-up? And that's my thing. Like, again, the business one-on-one, like, you put together a whole presentation. You are presenting an idea to entrepreneurs, to other business people, and you were supposed to have a professional meeting, which it wasn't, but I'm going to go along with it. Why didn't you take meeting notes? But I know why. There was no agenda. There was no objective. There was no goal. There was nothing. So I actually know why. I just kind of low-key answered my own question. So that's why there was no follow-up. She put that responsibility back into everybody else's hands. So whatever, girl. Okay. So from jump, she said, I decided that we're not going to pay anybody.
And this is when you walk out the room.
Right.
Because I'm not about to give you free time to talk about nothing.
Right.
So if we're not getting paid, there's no reason to be.
Right. Mel, where was the whole, God bless you guys on your journey? And just get up.
Now, one thing I think was interesting, as much as Marsau and Martel are so Eminem, so tight to the hip. It was interesting to see Martel's reaction when she said that. I thought this was something that Martel would have known before the meeting because I'm pretty sure they talked about what they're gonna say in the meeting, and Martel's like, "Yeah, get him, Marcel, get him." I'm pretty sure they had a talk, but I thought it was funny. Martel's reaction. He's like, "Hold up, we ain't getting paid," and because y'all know Martel needed
To continue to sue Mel. He needs the money. He needs the money to pay his lawyers. That's one. But it was just so fascinating. And even Mel was like, okay, because she made it very clear, meaning Latisha, she said, we're not paying anybody in this room. Okay. So Mel's like, so y'all not paying us, but y'all, so you're alluding that you're going to pay other speakers that you recruit for this event? Okay, like what's going to be your explanation for this?
Mm-hmm.
Back to your point about Martel, he was just kind of like, so like, yeah, like what is the reasoning for you guys not wanting to pay? Like what, like, and he brings up how, Mel, she's a public speaker. That's what she does. That's her job. And so I don't think that it's right for them to say that they're not going to pay us, specifically her. I'm not gonna give him props for that. I just feel like if anything, he's saying that because again, he need her to make her money because he want to make his money. So it was really about that. But also I feel like that's when Martel's conscience like perks up is when we're talking about money. He's like, wait a minute, hold up. We not getting paid. Now I got questions. I got questions. Why we not getting paid? But Kimmy comes in and she's like, okay, first of all, and she breaks it down. Because Latisha goes on her whole, um, you know, she gives a whole speech on the initiative of this Black Expo, which all it was a copy and paste initiative of what the comeback group was. And that's literally what Kimmy calls out. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, all she's doing, she's looking at Marsau while she's talking, all she's doing is repurposing what we have already created. Mm-hmm. So we need to now discuss, well, why is it not under the comeback group name? Like what are we talking about here? And then on top of that, you're claiming that you're not going to pay us.
Right.
And the conversation is so remedial to me because you're talking to a bunch of slow learners, graduates at this point. Like first hallway is what they're giving.
And what I truly feel, after watching it, I was thinking about it for a little bit. I truly feel like they don't want to pay anybody in there because at the end of the day, I feel like they want to lowball external people to hire to speak, of course, so they can pocket the profits.
Well, absolutely. Oh, and we'll get to that in a second. But for them to really think, and this is what I mean by slow learners class, you have Latisha and Marsau, the slowest ones in the room, trying to really just gaslight the whole room and manipulate them and then turn it around on everybody that is asking fair questions about business. And Marsau pipes up and says that if you are expecting to get paid, then you're greedy, which is like pure manipulation. Like they're using all of these big words to try to wheel you in and then also try to guilt trip you if you're not interested. If it's just all a scheme. I don't like things like that. And that's what it was giving, because everybody was asking fair questions except for Maurice. We'll get to him. But everybody was asking fair questions and everybody was genuinely confused, just like how they were in that last meeting. The last meeting, they came to that presentation with nothing. They didn't even really have a presentation. They had one slide. They had no objective, no marketing plan. They had no idea how they even wanted the individuals in the room to participate in the event. Did y'all want us to help you plan it? Do you want me to be a panelist? Do you want me to be a keynote speaker? Like, what do you guys want? How do you envision this event? They couldn't even answer that question. They had no budget. They had no idea how they were going to market the event to the community. They had nothing. They didn't even have a venue. And if they had one, they did not say it in the meeting. And so now all of a sudden they're coming to this meeting talking about sponsorships, which was an idea that Mel brought up in that last meeting. And then tried to flip it, took her idea, and then said, well, we're not going to pay you though. With the sponsorship money.
And mind y'all, the name on this event, at the end of the day, behind the scenes, is Black.
QUE.
QU.
Not CK. So it's giving, you want to pocket money and you want to use our efforts to not only promote your brand, but also to just use us so you can make a profit. That's literally what it's giving. And what I don't know people's hearts, because Latisha kept saying, well, that's not how I'm feeling. Because Kimmy flat out said that. She's like, I'm just telling you how I'm feeling. That's not what it is. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's the optics of it all. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. That's what it's giving. And at the end of the day, if I'm feeling squirmy and it's feeling sketch, from a business standpoint, I'm not going to get involved. Mm-hmm. And Mel also called out about them taking her idea with the whole sponsorship thing. And she also says, like, listen, like, y'all are basically wanting me to work for free to do you guys a solid. Mm-hmm. And we're not even close like that at the end of the day. I don't trust this group. We're not even we not on that level at all. X the fact that none of y'all have ever sponsored or financially supported a Melanie in Mimosa's events, any of her skincare events or her line. They have not promoted her stuff on their social.
Well, Latisha then butts in and claims that she did try to come support Mel at her event, but she got escorted out.
Nice try, wrong scenario. Nice try, wrong scenario, bitch. That's not at all what's going on. Because like Mel said, I'm talking about sponsorships. Mm-hmm. You came to my event to cause a scene.
To be nosy.
To be messy. That's not what I'm talking about. Nobody in that room has ever supported any of Mel's business ventures or events or anything. And I'm not talking about just showing up. I'm talking about financially supporting. Because that's literally what you're asking her to do for your event.
And Marsau tried to sell this dream too, by the way of, the money that's made, like, you never know, we can use that to support one of your future events or one of your future projects. You are not using that money.
It's sketch. It's sketch.
Because number one, you need money because number one, you need to pay that rent at that apartment. And number two...
that's why that's what's even adding insult to injury for me and like making the situation way worse is because I just feel like I've never really, yes I have, I'm about to lie. I have questioned their businesses before, but like this season, I really am.
Yeah.
Between this house just not being a thing, like there's not even the yellow tape around to even like, you don't even have a foundation.
You just got high grass, lizards, ants, and
you're moving out of your
house,
your ranch style home into an apartment. Mm-hmm. You also are now trying to guilt trip me into doing this Black expo situation that sounds very much like the Comeback Group. Mm-hmm.
And two, they have 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna get 3-bedroom apartment. So you got a room for their son, the 2 girls, and Marsau gets the bedroom because Latisha's sleeping in the closet.
And Maurice, he is such a flip-flopper, fake and phony. Like, oh my God. Like, you are fake. Ew. That's weird. Why are you so fake? Because earlier in the first scene with him and his brother and his sister-in-law, it was very clear that Maurice knew that they were not going to try to pay anybody. Then you come in this meeting, and at the beginning of the meeting, you're like, yeah, I don't think anybody should be paid either. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the meeting, which is the end of the episode, he's like, "You're just taking our idea." What?
I think to be honest with you, I think he had to change the tune because after listening to Kimmy, it's one of the things where he can't come back there.
Yo, because he's not bright. This is like slow learners class. That's what it is. He's not bright.
He can't combat it. So he had no choice but to.
He's not bright. Maurice should be showing up in suits.
Looking like a mouse.
Just be showing up in suits. He don't know. At this point, I'm convinced that he's giving scripts on when to pipe in, like when to chime in on things. Like, this is my, okay, now I'll be mad. No! This is not right. Like, what are you talking about, bro? This wasn't your time to talk.
And so I believe after that scene, it was a to be continued, correct?
Yes, because Maurice blew up.
Oh, gosh. So they just want to give part 2 of a headache. So we're going to go from part 1 a headache to part 2 a migraine. Okay, cool. That's what we're going with this.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing any type of business dealings with the Scotts in any way. Back to the comment that you made earlier about separating business from pleasure, or business and personal. I personally don't believe in that. Because I don't think it is possible. I truly don't. I truly don't, especially in a situation like this.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's always going to be personal with me when it's my money. Very personal.
And then it's just the fact
very
of,
personal.
And this is the fact of this. Just like, as people know, outside the show, there's a whole nother show on social media. And the thing is, you want to do business with me, but you're smearing my name. It doesn't
because didn't Mel have a dark soul?
Yeah. So you wanna do a deal with the dark soul?
Mel was the devil. That's what Latisha said. Latisha said that Mel had a dark soul, and she's a wolves in sheep clothing. That's how she said it too. A wolves in sheep's clothing. That's what she said. Why you want to do business with me? Okay.
But yeah, everyone, this ended with the typical to be continued. It doesn't. It's gonna continue next episode.
It's so boring.
We're gonna continue to hear the foolery, the waste of time. Y'all get your cotton balls ready for your ears. Get some earplugs because you're gonna hear a whole lot of nothing. What'd you think of this episode?
It was boring. It's boring. Like there was. I mean, I will say this. Like, I'm not gonna say boring. What I'm saying is like, it's a bunch of nothing. It's a bunch of pointless conversations, right? That's not gonna go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this song and dance and this, dog and pony show with Latisha and Marsau. It's very clear Mel is sitting there looking pretty to just get her check for love and marriage. Mm-hmm. She's not she's by no means was she ever thinking that she was gonna be a part of whatever they got going on with this expo. That's nobody believes it. And nor is Kimmy. Kimmy's not gonna do this either. So I don't know how long they're gonna drag this out and pretend that this is going to be a thing. I just don't see it being a thing. So I'm not gonna say boring. It definitely it didn't set up anything. Because we just don't believe y'all at this point.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it's that eventful. The show ended with a meeting about how to scam people. That's pretty much what it was in a nutshell.
Right.
I'm broke. I need y'all money. I need y'all service. That's all it was, and the scam is gonna continue next week. But we definitely, and we're looking forward to it, want to hear what you guys got to say in the comments. We will be looking for y'all's input.
Yeah.
We will definitely be replying, so give us something to talk about. We do appreciate y'all for tuning into this episode of Reality Check TV. Y'all be sure to catch next week's episode, as we will. And as usual, we'll definitely be bringing y'all a review and letting y'all know how we feel about it.
Yes.
And please, don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys did great last week. We really appreciate it. We're really looking forward to building this community, adding some people along the way. We definitely value y'all, and we just appreciate y'all. But all in all, y'all know the drill. We're in the summertime, so now I'm going to start saying it more. Y'all drink y'all water and be safe in these streets.
Bye.